I remember when I was growing up that I thought a social worker was someone who took children. And later on, I had the opportunity to meet a social worker when I was in the military, and I found out that she helped children, she helped families.
The social work profession is so much more than just what we hear a lot of, people saying, oh, I want to help people, and you work at a social service agency, you're in anything involving any kind of help, so you think you're a social worker. It's not that simple.
Social workers are advocates. They advocate for social change. They empower people to do the best that they can to get the most out of life. We're also clinicians, we're community organizers. I mean, I think we do a myriad of jobs that a lot of people don't understand.
Every one of you out there in TV land, you're going to need a social worker at some point, even if it's at the end of your life.
The National Association of Social Workers created a code of ethics that details the values and mission of the social work profession. Last year, Washington Post columnist George Will portrayed this code as a surreptitious political agenda with a liberal bias. He argued that there might as well be signs on the doors of many schools of social work proclaiming conservatives need not apply. Is he right? In this current election cycle, do social work students feel pressure to conform to a covert liberal agenda? Or are the political views espoused by professors a natural result of their professional objectives?
I think there's definitely pressure in the classroom to be more liberal.
I definitely think there's pressure, but it's, I mean, up to a person by person to decide whether or not pressure is going to make you choose one or the other.
Not directly have I felt pressure, but I can see where someone might have felt pressure because it's Barack, or, I mean, they're not saying, you know, you better vote for Barack Obama or you're not going to get your accreditation, you're not going to be a social worker. But I mean, I could see it being on the other end.
There's definitely a theme in social work education that there's only one choice for presidency this year.
The political process means everything to the profession. One thing, I teach undergraduate students and I teach graduate students. And one thing that concerns me and that I work on with them successfully, but very in an intense way, is heightened political awareness.
If we're going to help people who are disenfranchised, then we certainly are going to need political support and the right political support.
And I don't get into just useless political rallying. I deal with truth. I look at statistics on poverty. I look at statistics on infant mortality. I look at statistics on education. I look at the number of people who are, the increased number of people who are homeless. I don't need to do any political posturing. All I need to do is tell the truth.
Sometimes I fear speaking out in class just because I feel like I'm the minority and nobody wants to be the minority.
What if my social work professors see this? And I don't think they would, you know, be like, oh, Miranda, you're going to be an awful social worker. But I could just, I don't know, I would just feel sort of maybe intimidated or just nervous.
Pressure they feel might be just the normal anxiety associated with learning. Learning is uncomfortable. I mean, there was a time in my life where I got, introduced to social work values. And I'm like, what values? A value to me is a good buy down at Kmart.
I'm really shocked, one, that people in this country where we're supposed to be free to say whatever we want, whenever we want, as long as it doesn't negatively impact anyone, specifically with students, that they feel oppressed, that they can't share their true feelings.
The thing we emphasize at the University of Tennessee College of Social Work is the idea of what we call evidence-based practice. We deal in truth. We minimize subjective assessment, meaning opinions and just thoughts which are based upon fiction, conjecture, speculation, or just some other superfluous nonsense. We emphasize truth that's backed up by fact. We emphasize research, and that's the bottom line. I'm not going to pressure you. I'm not going to force you to think like me, but I want you. I am going to force you to think.
I'm a social worker and I'm voting for Obama.
Social worker at UT and I'm voting for Barack Obama.
Social worker and I am voting for Barack Obama.
A social worker and I'm voting for Obama.